Have you ever wondered why some people seem to break through every barrier, while others stay stuck in the same place year after year? What if I told you the answer isn't luck, talent, or even hard work? It's something much deeper. It's your mind. Yes, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. This isn't just a quote for your wall. It's a fact. If your thinking is weak, your actions will reflect it. If your thoughts are small, your life will stay the same. But the moment you change how you think, your entire life starts to move in a new direction. Today, I'm not here to give you another motivational speech. I'm here to help you reset your mindset. If you're ready to take control of your thinking and become the person you're truly meant to be, this is your turning point. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Control what you think before it controls you. Let's get real for a second. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. That's not just a quote to write on your wall. That's a warning. And it's also an opportunity. Because if you don't take charge of what goes on in your head, someone or something else will. If you're not managing your thoughts, don't be surprised when your results aren't what you want them to be. Everything starts with your thinking. Before you make a decision, before you take an action, before you build a habit, it starts with a thought. And not just once, over and over again. That's how the mind works. If you keep thinking the same way, you keep getting the same outcomes. You can't keep thinking weakness and expect strength. You can't keep thinking like a victim and live like a winner. It just doesn't happen. So, who's running the show up there? Is it fear? You'll hesitate. Is it doubt? You'll quit early. Is it blame? You'll waste time pointing fingers instead of fixing your situation. But if it's responsibility, discipline, belief, things begin to shift. When you control your thinking, you take back the driver's seat in your life. You are the gatekeeper of your own mind, not your friends, not your parents, not your coworkers. The mind is not neutral. If you don't fill it with what's useful, it fills up with what's easy. Worry, comparison, regret, excuses. And if that's what keeps repeating, it becomes normal. You wake up thinking small. You go to bed doubting your ability. You live with hesitation. But that's not your ability. It's the thoughts you've never challenged. So here's what you do. Catch your thoughts. Start noticing what you're telling yourself throughout the day. When something goes wrong, what's the first thing you think? Do you blame someone? Criticize yourself? Or do you ask, what can I learn from this? When you're about to try something new, what do you hear in your head? I'm not ready. What if I fail? Or, I'll figure out no matter what. Those small moments decide your path. It's not the big motivational speech once a year that changes your life. It's the inner voice that speaks every single day. And that voice is shaped by what you think about consistently. Control that, and you control the direction of your life. Some of you were raised around negative thinking. People who constantly expected the worst. People who feared success. People who told you not to aim too high. And you've been carrying that thinking for years, dragging it from job to job, relationship to relationship, goal to goal. The only way to break that pattern is to take responsibility for the thoughts you allow to stay. You don't have to believe everything you think. Not every thought is true. Not every fear deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves a seat in your head. Start being selective. Your mind is valuable space. Don't run out to every fear and failure that comes knocking. Stop saying things like, I always mess up, or I'm just not good at this. That kind of talk chips away at your confidence. If you hear it enough, you'll start living like it's true, even when it's not. Replace it. Say what you want to become. Say it clearly. Say it often. Say it until it starts to sound normal. Because the more you repeat something, the more your mind begins to accept it. That's how belief is built. Through repetition. Not magic. Not luck. Just simple, repeated, consistent thinking. Controlling your mind isn't a one-time decision. It's not something you do once and forget. You got to renew it daily. Every day, something or someone will try to plant a new thought in your head. If you're not aware, those thoughts take root. That's why you've got to clean up your mental space. Like you clean your home. Don't wait until it's a mess. Stay on top of it. Don't confuse positive thinking with faith. This isn't about ignoring problems. This is about thinking strong enough to face them head on. Weak thinking runs from difficulty. Strong thinking steps into it and says, I can handle this. That's the mindset that creates progress. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You rise to the level of your thinking. If you want a better life, it starts with better thoughts. If you want better results, it starts with stronger thinking. You can't think the same way and expect things to magically change. You have to change your mind first. Then your actions will follow. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be aware. Start noticing when your thinking is working against you. Start challenging it. Start replacing it. Keep doing that until your new thinking becomes your normal thinking. When you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your future. You stop being a victim of your past. You stop depending on luck. You stop waiting for permission. You start building a life that reflects your values, your goals, your strength. You can either live by default or by design. And design starts in the mind. That's the difference between drifting through life and driving through life. One is passive. One is powerful. So every day, check in with your thoughts. Are they helping you or hurting you? Are they pushing you forward or pulling you back? Because whatever you think over time, you become. That's not philosophy. That's reality. And the great part is you get to choose. Every day, every hour, every thought. Choose thoughts that build. Choose thoughts that strengthen. Choose thoughts that make you proud of the way you live. Because in the end, your life is shaped in your mind first. If you want a new life, start by building a new mind. Chapter 2. Change your thinking. Change your life. If you want real change in your life, you have to start by changing how you think. That's where everything begins. The way you think shapes how you feel. How you feel determines what you do. And what you do daily creates your future. So, if your thinking stays the same, don't expect anything else to be different. That's the honest truth. Let's break it down. Your thoughts shape your feelings. Your feelings drive your actions. Your actions, repeated over time, become your habits. And your habits create your future. Imagine your mind as a garden. The thoughts you plant will eventually grow into the actions you take and the results you see. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, don't be surprised when your life is full of weeds. But if you plant seeds of belief, hope, and possibility, you'll harvest a life of growth and fulfillment. If you're stuck in a rut, it's not because you're unlucky. It's because your thinking hasn't changed. If you want something different, you have to start with your mind. The mind is the root system of your life. Change the roots, and you change the fruit. Let's be honest. Changing your thinking is hard. You've been thinking the same way for years, maybe decades. Some of those patterns were picked up in childhood. Some came from your environment. Some from your own experiences. But here's the truth. You do not have to believe every thought that enters your mind. Not every fear or opinion deserves your attention. Our brains are wired for efficiency, not happiness. They cling to the familiar, even if it's not good for us. That's why negative thinking can feel so natural, because it's what you know. But just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's right. Think of your mind like a computer. If you're running old software, you'll keep getting the same bugs and glitches. To get new results, you need an upgrade. That upgrade starts with your thoughts. Neuroscience tells us that repeated thoughts create neural pathways. The more you think a certain way, the more automatic it becomes. But the good news is you can rewire your brain. It's called neuroplasticity. By consistently practicing new ways of thinking, you can literally change your mind. Every time you choose a new thought, you're carving a new path in your brain. At first, it feels awkward, like walking through tall grass. But the more you walk that path, the clearer it becomes. Eventually, it's the old, negative paths that grow over and fade away. This is why consistency matters. It's not about thinking positively once and expecting your life to change. It's about choosing better thoughts every day until they become your new normal. Tools for rewiring your mindset, mindfulness, and meditation. These help you become aware of your thoughts and choose which ones to focus on. Mindfulness teaches you to observe your thoughts without judgment, giving you the power to interrupt negative cycles before they take hold. Journaling. Writing down your thoughts helps you identify patterns and replace negative ones with positive alternatives. Try a daily gratitude journal or write about moments when you overcame challenges. Affirmations. Regularly repeating empowering statements reinforces new beliefs. Choose affirmations that reflect the person you want to become, such as I am capable, I am resilient, or I am worthy of success. Surround yourself with positivity. Limit exposure to negativity. Seek out supportive, growth-oriented people. Your environment matters. If you're surrounded by complainers or doubters, it's much harder to stay positive. Visualization. Picture yourself succeeding. Visualize your goals as already achieved. This mental rehearsal prepares your mind and body to take the necessary steps. Action steps. 1. Identify your current thinking patterns. Notice the thoughts that arise in different situations. Are they helpful or harmful? Do they push you forward or hold you back? 2. Challenge and replace negative thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, pause and ask, is this true? Is there another way to see this? Replace the thought with something more empowering. 3. Practice daily. Consistency is key. Make mindset work a daily habit. Set reminders, use sticky notes, or schedule time each day to reflect on your thinking. 4. Track your progress. Keep a journal to reflect on your growth and celebrate small wins. Over time, you'll see how far you've come. Real life example. Let me share a story. Imagine someone who grew up hearing, "You'll never amount to much." For years, they believed it. Every time they tried something new, that thought echoed in their mind. But one day, they decided to challenge it. They started writing down every small win, every positive feedback, every step forward. Slowly, their thinking shifted. They began to believe in their potential. And as their thinking changed, so did their actions. They took more risks. They pursued bigger goals. And eventually, they achieved things they never thought possible. This isn't just a story. It's the reality for countless people who have chosen to change their thinking. The moment you start believing in your ability to grow, everything changes. The power of visualization. Visualization is a powerful tool to change your thinking. When you vividly imagine yourself succeeding, your brain starts to believe it's possible. This mental rehearsal prepares you emotionally and mentally to take the necessary actions. Try this. Close your eyes and picture your ideal day, your ideal achievement, or your ideal self. Feel the emotions associated with that success. The more detailed and real it feels, the stronger the impact on your mindset. Athletes use visualization to prepare for competition. Performers use it to calm their nerves before stepping on stage. You can use it to prepare for any challenge in your life. Overcoming negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is one of the biggest barriers to changing your thinking. It's that inner critic that tells you, you can't, or you're not good enough. Recognize when this voice appears. Challenge it by asking, is this true? What evidence do I have? Replace it with positive affirmations that reflect your goals and values. If you make a mistake, instead of saying, I always mess up, try, I'm learning and improving. If you feel nervous about a new opportunity, instead of, I'm not ready, say, I'm prepared to grow through this experience. Remember, your mind believes what you tell it most often. Make sure you're telling it something worth believing. The role of patience and persistence. Changing your thinking is not an overnight process. It requires patience and persistence. You will have setbacks and moments of doubt. That's normal. What matters is that you keep going. Every time you choose a positive thought over a negative one, you're strengthening new neural pathways. Think of it like building muscle. You don't get stronger after one workout. It takes time, repetition, and effort, but every bit of progress counts. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate small victories. And remember, every step forward is a step closer to the life you want. Building a support system. Surround yourself with people who support your growth. Share your goals and mindset journey with them. Their encouragement and accountability can make a big difference. Find a mentor, join a group, or connect with friends who are also committed to growth. Share your struggles and your wins. Lift each other up. If you're in an environment that drags you down, look for ways to bring more positivity into your life through books, podcasts, or online communities. Practical exercise, the thought audit. Take a few minutes each evening to do a thought audit. Write down the most common thoughts you had during the day. Were they mostly positive or negative? Did they help you move forward or hold you back? For each negative thought, write a positive alternative. Over time, you'll notice patterns, and you'll have the tools to change them. Changing your thinking changes your life. It's the foundation for all the progress you want to make. Use the tools. Practice daily. Be patient. Surround yourself with positivity. Your mind is powerful. Use it wisely. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker, and you have the power to choose what you think every single day. So, what will you choose to think today? And how will that thought shape your tomorrow? This chapter is your invitation to start the journey. Change your thinking. Change your life. The rest is up to you. Chapter 3. The voices in your head. Every day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, there's a constant conversation happening inside your mind. Some call it self-talk. Others call it the inner critic, the inner coach, or simply the voices in your head. Whatever you call it, this internal dialogue shapes your beliefs, your decisions, and ultimately, your destiny. But here's the secret most people never realize. You are not the voice in your head. You are the one who hears it. And once you understand this, you can start to take control of the conversation and rewrite the script, understanding your inner dialogue. Let's start by getting clear on what self-talk really is. Self-talk is a stream of thoughts, opinions, and judgments that run through your mind all day long. Sometimes it's positive and encouraging, pushing you to try new things, or reminding you of your strengths. Other times, it's negative and critical, holding you back with fear, doubt, and regret. This self-talk is shaped by years of experiences, beliefs, and the messages you've absorbed from others, parents, teachers, friends, even strangers. Over time, it becomes so automatic that you barely notice it's there. But just because it's automatic doesn't mean it's accurate or helpful. Think of your mind like a radio. Sometimes it plays uplifting music. Other times it's static, noise, or even harsh criticism. The important thing is you can learn to change the station. The origins of your inner voices. Where do these voices come from? Why do some people have a supportive inner coach, while others are haunted by a relentless critic? It starts early. As children, we absorb the words and attitudes of people around us. If you grew up hearing encouragement and praise, you probably developed a more positive inner voice. If you heard criticism, doubt, or negativity, those messages likely became part of your internal dialogue. But it's not just family. Society, culture, and even the media play a role. Advertisements tell you you're not enough, unless you buy their product. Social media shows you highlight reels of other people's lives, fueling comparison and self-doubt. By the time you're an adult, your mind is filled with a chorus of voices, some helpful, some harmful. The good news is you can learn to recognize which voices are serving you and which are holding you back. The power of negative self-talk. Let's talk about the most common and most damaging voice in your head, the inner critic. The inner critic is the voice that tells you, you're not good enough. You always mess things up. Why even try? You'll just fail. People will laugh at you. You're too old, young, slow, or awkward to succeed. Sound familiar? We all have this voice. But for some, it's louder and more persistent. Left unchecked, it can sabotage your confidence, paralyze you with fear, and keep you stuck in your comfort zone. The inner critic isn't trying to ruin your life. In fact, it's usually trying to protect you from embarrassment, disappointment, or failure, but its methods are outdated. What kept you safe as a child may now be holding you back as an adult. Recognizing negative self-talk. The first step to changing your inner dialogue is awareness. You can't change what you don't notice. Start paying attention to the way you talk to yourself, especially in challenging situations. Notice the words you use. Are they harsh or gentle? Do they encourage you to grow, or do they keep you small? Keep a journal for a week. Every time you catch yourself thinking something negative, write it down. Don't judge or try to change it yet. Just observe. You might be surprised by how often your inner critic speaks up. Your self-talk doesn't just stay in your head. It affects every area of your life. If you constantly tell yourself you're unlovable or not good enough, you may settle for less than you deserve, or sabotage healthy connections. If your inner voice says you're not smart enough or capable enough, you might avoid opportunities or shy away from challenges. Negative self-talk can increase stress, lower your immune system, and even contribute to anxiety and depression. The stories you tell yourself shape your reality. If your story is one of defeat and limitation, your life will reflect that. But here's the good news. When you change your self-talk, you change your life. You start to see possibilities instead of problems. You become more resilient, more confident, and more willing to take risks. So how do you silence, or at least quiet, the inner critic? When your inner critic speaks up, ask yourself, is this true? Is there evidence for this thought? Or is it just a habit? Most negative self-talk is exaggerated or flat out false. Imagine your inner critic as a separate character. When it says, you can't do this, reply, maybe I can. I've overcome challenges before. Stand up for yourself. Instead of, I always fail, try, sometimes things don't go as planned, but I learn and grow from every experience. Turn criticism into constructive feedback. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend. If a friend made a mistake, would you call them a failure? Or would you encourage them to try again? Replace negative statements with positive ones. Write them down. Say them out loud every morning. Over time, your mind will start to believe them. While the inner critic gets most of the attention, there's another voice inside you, the inner coach. This is the voice of encouragement, resilience, and possibility. It's the part of you that says, you've got this. You've overcome challenges before. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how you learn. You are enough just as you are. The inner coach may be quieter at first, especially if you've spent years listening to the critic. But with practice, you can turn up the volume. Here's how to give your inner coach more power. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Every time you succeed, acknowledge it. This builds confidence and reinforces positive self-talk. Recall past successes. When you face a new challenge, remember times when you've succeeded before. Remind yourself of your strengths and abilities. Visualize success. Picture yourself overcoming obstacles, achieving your goals, and handling setbacks with grace. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with people who lift you up. Read books, listen to podcasts, and watch videos that inspire and encourage you. Practice gratitude. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. The influence of environment and relationships. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your inner dialogue. If you're surrounded by negativity, complainers, critics, or people who put you down, it's much harder to maintain a positive mindset. Seek out relationships that support your growth. Find mentors, friends, or communities that encourage you to aim higher. Limit your exposure to toxic influences, both online and offline. Remember, you can't always control your environment, but you can control how much you let it influence your thoughts. Practical exercise. Rewrite your script. Let's do a quick exercise. Take a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. On the left side, write down the negative things you often say to yourself. On the right side, rewrite each one as a positive, empowering statement. For example, I always mess up becomes, I learn from my mistakes and get better every day. I'm not good enough becomes, I am worthy and capable of achieving my goals. Read your new script out loud every morning and every night. Over time, you'll start to believe it. There will be times when the negative voices get louder when you're stressed, tired, or facing a big challenge. That's normal. Don't beat yourself up for having negative thoughts. Instead, notice them, acknowledge them, and gently guide your focus back to your inner coach. If you find yourself overwhelmed by negative self-talk, reach out for support. Talk to a friend, a mentor, or a professional. You're not alone, and you don't have to face your struggles in silence. Ultimately, the voices in your head are just stories. Stories about who you are, what you can do, and what's possible for your life. The question is, are you telling yourself a story of limitation or a story of possibility? You have the power to change the story at any time. You can choose to believe in yourself, to see setbacks as setups for comebacks, and to trust that you are capable of more than you imagine. The voices in your head are powerful, but they are not fixed. With awareness, intention, and practice, you can transform your inner dialogue from a source of limitation to a source of strength. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker. You are the author of your own story. So, what story will you choose to tell yourself today? And how will that story shape the life you create tomorrow? The journey to mastering your mind starts with a single decision: to listen to the voice that believes in you. The rest is up to you. Chapter 4: Building Mental Strength. Mental strength is the invisible force that powers you through life's toughest moments. It's what keeps you moving forward. When everything in you wants to give up, it's not about being emotionless or never feeling fear, doubt, or sadness. Instead, it's about learning to manage those feelings, face adversity head on, and keep showing up even when it's hard. In this chapter, we'll break down what mental strength really means, why it matters, and most importantly, how you can build it step by step. What is mental strength? Mental strength is your ability to stay focused, resilient, and positive in the face of challenges. It's the combination of self-discipline, emotional regulation, and the willingness to embrace discomfort for the sake of growth. Mentally strong people aren't immune to stress or setbacks. They've simply developed the habits and mindsets that allow them to recover, adapt, and keep striving for their goals. Think of mental strength like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And just like physical muscles, you can train your mind with specific exercises, routines, and daily habits. The pillars of mental strength. Building mental strength rests on a few core principles. Acceptance. Acknowledge your current reality, including your strengths and weaknesses. This honest self-awareness is the foundation for growth. Willpower. The ability to persist and act despite temptations, distractions, or discomfort. Hard work. Consistent, focused effort, even when motivation fades. Industry. Sustained effort over time. Patience, organization, and commitment to long-term goals. Persistence. The capacity to keep going, despite setbacks, failures, or waning motivation. These pillars work together to create a resilient mindset that can weather life's storms. The science of mental strength. Neuroscience shows that mental strength is rooted in the brain's ability to regulate emotions and make decisions under stress. The prefrontal cortex, especially the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, plays a key role in self-control and discipline. Challenging activities, like resisting temptation or pushing through discomfort, strengthen these brain regions over time. Stress and reward systems in the brain also impact mental strength. When you manage stress effectively and reward yourself for small wins, you reinforce disciplined behaviors and boost resilience. The belief that willpower can grow with effort, a growth mindset, further enhances your ability to bounce back from setbacks. Daily habits for building mental strength. Just as you wouldn't expect to build muscle by going to the gym once, You can't expect to build mental strength overnight. It's the daily habits, routines, and small choices that add up over time. 1. Mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness is a practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It helps you slow down, notice your thoughts and emotions, and choose how to respond rather than react impulsively. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can improve stress handling and mental clarity. How to start. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. Start with a few minutes daily and gradually increase as you get comfortable. 2. Visualization. Visualization is a powerful tool used by athletes and high performers. By mentally rehearsing how you'll overcome challenges, you train your mind to respond with confidence in real-life situations. How to practice. Close your eyes and imagine a challenge you're facing. Picture yourself handling it with calm and confidence. Focus on the details, what you see, how you feel, and the steps you take. 3. Journaling. Journaling helps process emotions, reflect on setbacks, and track growth. It reveals patterns in thinking and behavior, turning challenges into learning opportunities. How to start. Set aside 10 minutes each day to write about your experiences, thoughts, and feelings. Use prompts like, "What was my biggest challenge today?" or "How did I show resilience?" 4. Physical exercise. Physical health and mental strength go hand in hand. Regular exercise reduces stress, improves mood, and builds resilience. Even a daily walk or short workout can make a big difference. 5. Self-discipline routines. Establish daily routines, morning rituals, regular exercise, set times for focused work. This reduces mental energy needed to make decisions and strengthens self-discipline. Tips. Start with small, manageable habits. Be consistent, even when you don't feel like it. Celebrate small wins to reinforce your efforts. Strategy for developing self-discipline and resilience. Building mental strength is about developing self-discipline and resilience. Your ability to keep going, even when things get tough. Set clear, specific goals. Break big ambitions into smaller, actionable steps. Clear goals give you direction and make the journey less overwhelming. Create implementation intentions. Plan for obstacles with if-then strategies. For example, if I feel tempted to procrastinate, then I'll set a timer for 10 minutes of focused work. This prepares you to handle challenges before they arise. Practice delayed gratification. Learn to wait for rewards. Exercise is like the marshmallow test, resisting immediate treats for bigger rewards later. Build patience and self-control. Remove temptations. Set up your environment for success. Remove distractions and temptations that make it harder to stick to your goals. Embrace discomfort. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. Challenge yourself with small discomforts. Cold showers, try new things to build resilience over time. Practice self-compassion. When you slip up or fall short, treat yourself kindly. Recognize setbacks as part of growth. Forgive yourself and get back on track. The role of social support. You don't have to build mental strength alone. Supportive relationships, friends, family, mentors, or coaches provide encouragement, accountability, and perspective during tough times. Stay connected. Make time for meaningful conversations and social activities. Seek guidance. Don't hesitate to ask for help or advice when you need it. Give back. Helping others can boost your own sense of purpose and resilience. Healthy lifestyle habits. Taking care of your body is essential for mental strength. Eat nutritious food, get enough sleep, and make time for relaxation. Stress affects your body as much as your mind, so prioritize self-care. Try new hobbies. Engaging in creative activities or volunteering can give you a sense of purpose and accomplishment. Spend time in nature. Disconnect from technology and enjoy the outdoors to recharge your mind and body. Embracing challenges and learning from setbacks. Mentally strong people don't avoid difficult situations. They face them head on. Each challenge is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. When you encounter setbacks, reflect on what you can learn, rather than focusing on what went wrong. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this? Or, how can I handle this better next time? Keep a hopeful outlook. Focus on the possibilities, not just the problems. Practical exercises to build mental strength. Here are some simple exercises you can start today. 1. Mindful breathing. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Sit quietly and focus on your breath. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back. This builds focus and emotional regulation. 2. Daily gratitude. Write down 3 things you're grateful for every day. This practice shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right, building optimism and resilience. 3. Challenge yourself. Pick one small thing each week that pushes you out of your comfort zone. It could be speaking up at a meeting, trying a new activity, or facing a fear. 4. Reflect on setbacks. When you experience a setback, write about it in your journal. What happened? How did you react? What can you learn from it? This turns failures into fuel for growth. When to seek professional help. Sometimes, building mental strength requires extra support. Working with a therapist or coach can help you challenge negative thought patterns. Set goals and stay accountable. Professional guidance is especially helpful if you're struggling with anxiety, depression, or persistent negative thinking. Building mental strength is a lifelong journey. It's not about never feeling weak. It's about learning to recover, adapt, and keep moving forward, no matter what life throws your way. Start small. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate every step of progress. Over time, you'll find that the challenges that once seemed overwhelming become stepping stones to a stronger, more resilient you. Remember, mental strength is not something you're born with. It's something you build one decision, one habit, and one day at a time. Chapter 5, From Thought to Action. Every achievement, every change, every breakthrough in your life begins with a single thought. But a thought alone is not enough. It's the bridge from thought to action that turns ideas into reality, dreams into results, and intentions into impact. This chapter explores how thoughts become actions, why so many people get stuck in the thinking phase, and how you can master the art of moving from intention to execution, no matter your goal. The journey from idea to impact. Let's start with a simple truth. Every action you take begins as a thought. You imagine, you plan, you decide, and then you do. But between the spark of an idea and the reality of action, there's a gap where many dreams fade away. Why? Because turning thoughts into action isn't automatic. It takes awareness, intention, and practice. Understanding how this process works is the first step to mastering it. The circle of thought. Psychologists describe the process of moving from thought to action as a series of stages. 1. Describe. You notice or imagine something, a need, a desire, a problem, or a goal. 2. Elaborate. You think about it, explore possibilities, and form ideas. 3. Decide. You weigh options and make a choice. 4. Plan. You figure out how to make it happen. What, when, where, how. 5. Act. You take the step. You do. The circle of thought is always turning in your mind, whether you're aware of it or not. The challenge is to keep the circle moving, especially when fear, doubt, or procrastination try to slow it down. Why do we get stuck? Many people get stuck between the plan and act stages. You might have a great idea, even a detailed plan, but somehow you never take the leap. Why? Fear of failure. What if it doesn't work? Overthinking. Is this the right way? Should I wait? Perfectionism. I'll start when I'm ready. Lack of clarity. I'm not sure what to do next. Low confidence. I'm not good enough to pull this off. These barriers are real, but they're not insurmountable. The key is to understand that action doesn't require perfect confidence or complete clarity. It just requires movement, the power of validity and belief. Research shows that your thoughts become more likely to lead to action when you believe in their validity. If you think your idea is valuable, possible, or urgent, you're far more likely to act on it. This is why self-belief and mindset matter so much. Ask yourself, do I really believe this is possible for me? Do I believe my actions will make a difference? Am I willing to risk discomfort for the sake of progress? If you struggle to answer yes, start by working on your beliefs. Remind yourself of past successes. Seek out stories of others who've taken similar steps and visualize the outcome you want. Embodied cognition, why action changes thought. Modern psychology suggests that action and thought are deeply connected, not just in theory, but in how your brain and body work. When you act, you engage neural pathways that reinforce your intentions and beliefs. In fact, imagining an action and physically doing it can have nearly identical effects on your brain's cognitive structures. This means that even small actions, writing down a goal, telling someone your plan, or taking the first step, can make your intentions more real and more likely to succeed. Gesture and mental representation. Interestingly, research shows that even gesturing about an action, like explaining a task with your hands, can change how you think about it and how you perform later. The act of moving, even in symbolic ways, helps your brain rehearse the action, making it easier to execute when the time comes. From intention to execution, the 3 phases. Let's break down the process of turning a thought into action into 3 practical phases. 1. The thought. You have an idea, a desire, or a goal. 2. Introspection. You reflect on the thought, weigh its importance, and decide if it's worth pursuing. 3. Action. You move from thinking to doing. The bridge between introspection and action is commitment. Without commitment, thoughts remain wishes. With commitment, they become plans. The role of pure thinking action. Recent studies introduced the concept of pure thinking action, a mode of thinking that is performative, participative, and persistent. It's not just about reflecting on what you know, but actively engaging your mind in a goal-oriented, step-by-step process. When you engage in pure thinking action, you focus on the goal and persist through distractions. Organize your thoughts into logical steps. Stay committed to seeing the process through. This kind of thinking is the mental rehearsal that precedes real-world action. It's the difference between daydreaming and planning, between wishing and willing. Practical strategies to move from thought to action. Here are proven steps to help you bridge the gap. 1. Clarify your goal. 1. Be specific. Vague intentions rarely lead to action. Instead of, I want to get fit, say, I will walk 30 minutes every morning. 2. Break it down. Big goals can feel overwhelming. Break them into small, manageable steps. Each step should be clear enough that you know exactly what to do next. 3. Set a trigger. Decide when and where you'll act. I'll write my first paragraph after breakfast. This creates a cue for action, making it easy to start. 4. Take the smallest possible step. Don't wait for motivation or perfect conditions. Start with the tiniest action. Write 1 sentence. Make 1 call. Do 1 push-up. Action creates momentum. 5. Celebrate progress. Every action, no matter how small, is a victory. Celebrate your progress to reinforce the habit of taking action. 6. Reflect and adjust. After acting, reflect on what worked and what didn't. Use this feedback to adjust your approach and keep moving forward. Overcoming resistance. When you feel stuck, try these techniques. Visualization. Imagine yourself succeeding. Picture the process, not just the outcome. This mental rehearsal primes your brain for action. Accountability. Tell someone your goal. Public commitment increases follow-through. Environment. Remove distractions and set up your space for action. Self-talk. Replace I can't with I'm learning or I'll try. Thought versus action. The dynamic relationship. Thought and action are not separate. They feed each other. Taking action changes your thoughts, just as thoughts inspire action. Each step you take builds confidence and clarity, making the next step easier. For example, if you're nervous about public speaking, thinking about it will only get you so far. Practicing, even in front of a mirror, will do more to build your confidence than any amount of planning. The circle of feedback. Every action gives you feedback. Some actions succeed, some fail, but all teach you something. This feedback is fuel for new thoughts, new plans, and better actions. It's a cycle. Think, act, reflect, adjust, act again. Real-life example. The power of starting small. Consider someone who wants to write a book but feels overwhelmed. The thought is there, I want to be an author, but the gap between idea and finished manuscript seems enormous. Instead of waiting for inspiration, they decide to write just one paragraph a day. That's it. No pressure for perfection, just consistent action. Over time, those paragraphs become pages, then chapters, then a book. The lesson? Small. Consistent actions turn intentions into outcomes. The hardest part is starting. Thought-action fusion. When thinking feels like doing, it's important to note that sometimes, especially in anxiety or OCD, people experience thought-action fusion. The belief that thinking about something is the same as doing it. While this can be problematic in extreme cases, it also highlights the power of thoughts to shape our reality. For most people, the key is to recognize that thoughts are powerful, but action is what creates change. Don't let your mind trick you into thinking that planning or worrying is the same as moving forward. The role of reflection and review. After you act, take time to reflect. What did you learn? What would you do differently next time? This reflection turns experience into wisdom and prepares you for even greater action in the future. Building the habit of action. Action is a habit. The more you practice moving from thought to action, the easier it becomes. Start with small wins, build momentum, and soon you'll find yourself taking bigger, bolder steps. Track your actions. Keep a journal or checklist. Reward yourself. Celebrate each completed step. Review regularly. Adjust your approach based on what you learn. Final thoughts. The distance between thought and action is where most dreams are lost, but it's also where all progress is made. You have the power to close that gap. Start small, stay consistent, and trust that every action brings you closer to your goals. Remember, it's not enough to think about change. You have to act. And every action, no matter how small, is a step toward the life you want. So what will you do today? What thought will you turn into action? The answer is up to you. Chapter 6. Designing your life by design, not default. Introduction. Choosing your path. Every day you have a choice. To let life happen to you, or to take the wheel and steer your own course. Living by default means drifting along, reacting to whatever comes your way, and letting external forces, other people's expectations, societal norms, or even your own habits shape your journey. Living by design means making conscious, intentional choices that align with your values, dreams, and purpose. It's the difference between wandering aimlessly and walking a path you've chosen for yourself. In this chapter, we'll explore what it truly means to design your life, the steps you can take to shift from passive to active living, and how to build a life that reflects who you are and what you want, not just what's easy or expected. What does it mean to design your life? Designing your life is about taking ownership. It's recognizing that you are the author of your story, and every decision, big or small, contributes to the narrative. It's about asking yourself, is this what I truly want? Or am I just going with the flow? Living by design is not about perfection or having everything figured out. It's about being intentional, making choices that move you closer to your ideal life, and adjusting your course as you learn and grow. It's about curiosity, experimentation, and the willingness to try, fail, and try again. The consequences of living by default. When you live by default, you risk ending up somewhere you never intended to be. You might find yourself in a job you don't enjoy, relationships that drain you, or routines that leave you feeling stuck and unfulfilled. The default path is often comfortable, but it rarely leads to fulfillment or growth. Characteristics of living by default include no meaningful dreams. You might have vague ideas of what you want, but nothing that truly excites or motivates you. No clear plan. Even if you have a dream, you don't have a roadmap to get there. Inconsistent action. You may take steps toward your goals, but you don't stick with them long enough to see results. Reactivity. You spend your days responding to demands and expectations, rather than proactively shaping your own experience. Living by default is a recipe for mediocrity and regret. Studies show that most people, when reflecting on their lives. Wish they had been more intentional and less passive. The power of living by design. Living by design is the antidote to passivity. It's about building a life that resonates with your core values, passions, and purpose. It's about making choices that reflect who you are and what you want to become. To live by design, you need 1. Purpose. Your why. The deeper reason that gives your life meaning and direction. 2. Dreams. Visions of what you want to achieve and experience. 3. Plan. A roadmap to turn your dreams into reality. 4. Action. Consistent steps to move you closer to your goals. 5. Consistency. The discipline to keep going, even when it's hard. How to start designing your life. 1. Start with curiosity. Design thinking begins with curiosity. Ask yourself big questions. What do I care about? What brings me joy? What kind of life do I want to live? The answers aren't always clear, but curiosity opens up possibilities you might not have considered before. Exercise. Set aside time to reflect. Write down your answers to these questions. Don't judge or censor yourself. Let your imagination run wild. 2. Uncover your core values. Your values are the foundation of intentional living. They guide your decisions and help you stay aligned with what matters most to you. Exercise. List 3 to 5 core values that define who you are. Ask yourself, when do I feel most alive? What principles do I want to live by? Write them down and keep them visible as a daily reminder. 3. Create a vision for your life. A life vision is a picture of your ideal future. It's not about perfection, but about what would make you feel fulfilled and joyful. Exercise. Imagine you could wave a magic wand and wake up tomorrow living your best life. What would you be doing? Who would you be with? Where would you live? How would you feel? Write it all down in vivid detail. 4. Set intentions and goals. Intentions are your daily, weekly, or monthly focus points. Goals are the specific, actionable steps that move you toward your vision. Exercise. Set intentions for your day, week, and month. Break your vision into smaller goals. For example, if your vision includes better health, your goal might be to walk 30 minutes every morning. 5. Prototype your life. In design thinking, prototyping means experimenting with different solutions before committing to one. Apply this to your life by trying new hobbies, routines, or even career paths. Don't be afraid to fail. Each experiment teaches you something valuable. Exercise. Pick one area of your life you'd like to improve. Try a small change for a week and observe how it feels. Adjust as needed. 6. Bias toward action. Intentional living is about doing, not just thinking. Take small, actionable steps every day. Even tiny actions create momentum and clarity. Exercise. Commit to one small action today that aligns with your vision. It could be as simple as journaling, calling a friend, or starting a new habit. 7. Reframe challenges. Design thinking teaches us to see problems as opportunities for growth. When you encounter obstacles, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I see this differently? Reframing helps you stay resilient and creative. Exercise. Think of a current challenge. Write down 3 ways you could reframe it as an opportunity. 8. Build supportive habits and routines. Your daily habits shape your life. Design routines that support your values and goals. This might include morning rituals, regular exercise, or time for reflection. Exercise. Identify one habit you'd like to adopt or change. Create a simple plan to implement it, and track your progress. 9. Evaluate your environment. Your environment, people, places, and routines has a huge impact on your choices. Surround yourself with people who inspire and support you. Remove distractions and negative influences. Exercise. Make a list of people, activities, and environments that uplift you. Find ways to spend more time in those spaces. 10. Practice gratitude and reflection. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. Regular reflection helps you stay aligned with your vision and adjust your course as needed. Exercise. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Weekly, reflect on your progress and adjust your goals as needed. Overcoming obstacles to intentional living. Designing your life isn't always easy. You'll face obstacles, self-doubt, fear of failure, societal pressure, or old habits. Here's how to overcome them. Self-doubt. Remind yourself of past successes. Affirm your ability to grow and adapt. Fear of failure. Reframe failure as feedback. Every setback is a lesson that brings you closer to your goals. Societal pressure. Evaluate the culture around you. Ask yourself, is this what I want? Or am I just following the crowd? Old habits. Replace unhelpful habits with new ones that support your vision. Be patient with yourself. Change takes time. The role of mindfulness and self-awareness. Mindfulness helps you stay present and intentional. It's about noticing your thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. Self-awareness allows you to recognize when you're drifting into default mode and gently guide yourself back to intentional living. Exercise. Try a short mindfulness practice each day, meditation, deep breathing, or simply pausing to notice your surroundings. The power of choice. Every day, you have the power to choose. You can choose your attitude, your actions, and the direction of your life. No one can take that power away from you. Not your past, not your circumstances, not even yourself. Exercise. Each morning, remind yourself, today I choose to live by design, not by default. Make one intentional choice that aligns with your vision. Real life example, from default to design. Consider someone who spent years in a job they didn't enjoy, following a path laid out by others. They felt stuck and unfulfilled, but didn't know how to change. One day, they decided to take ownership of their life. They started by asking themselves what they truly wanted, exploring new interests, and setting small, achievable goals. They surrounded themselves with supportive people, practiced gratitude, and learned to reframe challenges as opportunities. Over time, they built a life that reflected their values and passions, not just what was expected of them. Practical steps to design your life. 1. Reflect on your values and purpose. 2. Create a vision for your ideal life. 3. Set intentions and goals. 4. Experiment with new routines and habits. 5. Take small, consistent actions. 6. Reframe challenges as opportunities. 7. Surround yourself with positive influences. 8. Practice gratitude and mindfulness. 9. Reflect and adjust your course regularly. 10. Celebrate your progress and keep moving forward. The journey of intentional living. Designing your life is a journey, not a destination. It's about making intentional choices every day, learning from your experiences, and adjusting your course as you grow. It's about being curious, open, and willing to try new things. And most of all, it's about remembering that you are the author of your own story. You have the power to design your life. Every choice, every action, every moment is an opportunity to move closer to the life you want. Don't settle for default. Choose design. Choose intention. Choose yourself. So, what will you design today? The rest of your life is waiting. Remember, your life is precious. Don't just let it happen. Make it happen. Design your life, one intentional choice at a time. Chapter 7. Overcoming obstacles and setbacks. Every journey worth taking is marked by challenges, setbacks, and obstacles. No matter who you are or what you strive for, you will encounter moments when the path seems blocked, your progress stalls, or even reverses. But here's the truth. Setbacks are not the end of your story. They are the crucible where growth, resilience, and true achievement are forged. In this chapter, we'll explore proven strategies for overcoming obstacles, reframing setbacks as stepping stones, and building the confidence and resilience to keep moving forward, no matter what life throws your way. The nature of obstacles. Obstacles come in many forms. External, like financial hardship, illness, or unexpected events. And internal, like self-doubt, fear, or negative thinking. Sometimes, the biggest barriers are not what's outside of us, but what's inside our beliefs, habits, and the stories we tell ourselves. The first step to overcoming any obstacle is to acknowledge it. Pretending challenges don't exist only gives them more power. When you name your obstacle, you take the first step toward moving past it. Adopt a growth mindset. One of the most powerful tools for overcoming challenges is a growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. People with a growth mindset see setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to learn and grow. When you hit a wall, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to get better? What skills or strengths can I develop here? By embracing challenges as opportunities, you shift from feeling defeated to feeling empowered. Step 1. Identify and map your obstacles. Before you can overcome a barrier, you need to know exactly what it is. Take time to identify the specific obstacles holding you back. Are you overwhelmed by the size of your goal? Procrastinating out of fear? Lacking resources or support? Action plan. Grab a journal and write down your main goal. List every obstacle, big or small, that stands in your way. Be honest and specific. Sometimes, just naming the challenge is enough to start dissolving its power. Step 2. Reframe your mindset. How you view obstacles determines how you respond to them. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable walls, reframe them as stepping stones or lessons. Challenge negative self-talk. I can't do this becomes, this is challenging, but I'm capable of figuring it out. Action plan. Choose a negative thought pattern that's holding you back. Rewrite it as a positive affirmation. Repeat it daily, especially when facing challenges. Step 3. Break down the challenge. Big obstacles can feel overwhelming. The solution? Break them down. Divide your goal into smaller, manageable milestones. Each small step you take builds momentum and confidence. Action plan. Take your big goal and list 3 to 5 smaller steps you can take right now. Set deadlines for each step. Celebrate every small victory along the way. Step 4. Make a plan. While you can't predict every twist and turn, you can plan ahead. Look for patterns in your life. What challenges have you faced before? What worked and what didn't? Anticipate obstacles and prepare strategies for dealing with them. Action plan. For each obstacle, brainstorm at least 2 possible solutions. Write down your plan and keep it visible. Adjust as you go. Flexibility is key. Step 5. Take action, even if it's small. Action is the antidote to fear and overwhelm. Often, the hardest part is just getting started. Don't wait for perfect conditions or complete confidence. Take the smallest possible step forward. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates results. Step 6. Seek support. You're not alone. Everyone faces setbacks, and everyone needs help sometimes. Reach out to friends, mentors, or supportive communities. Sharing your challenges can lighten the load and offer new perspectives. Action plan. Identify one person you can talk to about your challenge. Ask for advice, encouragement, or simply a listening ear. Consider joining a support group or finding an accountability partner. Step 7. Practice self-compassion. When you stumble, be gentle with yourself. Failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's a natural part of growth. Practice self-compassion by acknowledging your disappointment, but don't dwell on it. Remember, everyone fails. What matters is what you do next. Step 8. Reflect and learn. Reflection turns setbacks into stepping stones. After every challenge, take time to process what happened. What did you learn? What would you do differently next time? Journaling or talking with a trusted friend can help you gain clarity and perspective. Step 9. Set SMART goals. Clear, achievable goals provide direction and motivation. Use the SMART framework: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, to set goals that keep you focused and moving forward. Action plan. Break your recovery or growth plan into SMART goals. Track your progress and celebrate each milestone. Step 10. Practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. Even in the midst of setbacks, there are things to appreciate. A lesson learned, a friend's support, a small step forward. Practicing gratitude builds resilience and helps you reframe your challenges. Embrace flexibility and adaptability. Life is unpredictable. No matter how well you plan, unexpected challenges will arise. The key is to remain flexible and willing to adapt. When one approach doesn't work, try another. See setbacks as opportunities to refine your strategy, not reasons to give up. Build confidence and resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks. Confidence is the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. Both are built through experience, reflection, and celebrating progress. Reflect on past successes. Remind yourself of times you've overcome challenges before. Celebrate small wins. Every step forward, no matter how small, reinforces your ability to succeed. Turn setbacks into stepping stones. Every setback contains a lesson. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Use each obstacle as a stepping stone to greater wisdom, strength, and success. Real life example, the comeback story. Think of any successful person, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists. Their stories are filled with setbacks, missed shots, failed businesses, rejected ideas. What sets them apart isn't luck or talent, but their willingness to keep going, learn from failure, and try again. For example, Thomas Edison famously failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each setback was a stepping stone to his breakthrough. The role of self-care. You can't pour from an empty cup. Prioritize self-care, physical, emotional, and mental. Exercise, sleep, healthy eating, and relaxation are not luxuries. They are essential for resilience and motivation. Master the art of saying no. Sometimes, obstacles come from overcommitting or taking on too much. Learn to set boundaries and say no to things that drain your energy or distract you from your priorities. Seek knowledge and keep learning. Obstacles often reveal gaps in your knowledge or skills. See them as invitations to learn. Take courses, read books, seek out mentors, and invest in your growth. Obstacles and setbacks are inevitable, but they do not define you. Your response, your mindset, your actions, your willingness to learn determines your future. Remember, every obstacle is an opportunity to grow. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. You have the power to choose resilience, learn from failure, and keep moving forward. So, the next time you face a challenge, pause, breathe, remember everything you've overcome so far. Then take one small step forward. The journey continues, and your greatest comeback might be just ahead. Keep going. Your story isn't over yet. As we reach the end of this journey together, take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. You began this experience with a desire for real change, a longing to move beyond old patterns, limited thinking, and the life you've lived by default. Now, you hold the tools, insights, and strategies to truly design your life from the inside out. You've learned that the mind is everything. What you think, you become. You discovered how your thoughts shape your feelings, your actions, and ultimately your destiny. You explored the power of self-awareness, the importance of challenging negative self-talk, and the necessity of building mental strength to weather life's inevitable storms. You saw that progress doesn't come from wishing or waiting, but from bridging the gap between thought and action. You learned to set intentions, break down big goals, and take small, consistent steps, even in the face of setbacks. You now know that obstacles are not the end of your story, but the very place where growth and transformation begin. If you remember nothing else, remember this. You are the author of your own story. Every day, you have the power to choose your thoughts, your actions, and the direction of your life. You can live by design, not by default. You can face challenges with a growth mindset, reframe failures as lessons, and keep moving forward one intentional choice at a time. Imagine the life that's possible when you put these ideas into practice. Picture yourself waking up each day with clarity and purpose, confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. See yourself building habits that support your dreams, surrounding yourself with people who lift you higher, and celebrating every step at your progress. This is your invitation to step boldly into the life you were meant to live. Don't settle for drifting. Don't let fear, doubt, or the voices of the past hold you back. Take what you've learned here and make it your own. Experiment, reflect, and adjust as you go. Remember, transformation is a journey, not a destination. If you're ready to keep growing, stay connected. Share your story with others. Seek out new knowledge, new challenges, and new opportunities to become the best version of yourself. And if you ever need a reminder, come back to these lessons. You'll always find a roadmap for renewal and strength. Thank you for being part of this journey. The next chapter is yours to write. Start today because everything starts now.